passion, obsession, addiction, these three are in a continuum. Means there is a gradual change between these three as it progresses. There is a very fine line which separates these from one another. And usually we don't even know when we cross this line. Passion, you want to do it. Obsession, you have to do it. And addiction, you can't live without doing it. As long as you are passionate about something, you can use your passion to do something. Make yourself, you can create dot, but when your passion becomes an obsession or addiction, then it starts consuming you. Passion creates and addiction consumes. And this is just a basic sketch of the emotional intensity of these three. But if we talk particularly about addiction, if we have to go to its roots, if we really want to understand the behavior of an addict, then we should first talk about human suffering and pain. That is the right place to start the conversation. Because addiction is always about pain. Addiction starts with pain and ends with pain. All the substances of abuse, be it opiates, cocaine or heroin or any drug, they are all painkillers. It's about soothing the pain. Even for just 30 minutes, I don't want the realization of the situation I am in. It's about finding a temporary escape. There is a quote by Rolling Stones. Guitarist Keith Richards, all the contortions we go through just not to be ourselves for a few hours. When you see the life of any severe drug addict, you will find an emotional void in their lives. They are emotionally hollow. Their childhood memories are very scary. They have been through pain upon pain, beating emotional loss, humiliation, rejection, abandonment, character assassination. And the right perspective to see addiction is that addiction is a human problem which exists inside the addict, not outside. That's why I ask not why the addictions but why the pain. And this why exists not in the life of drug addicts only, it's there in everyone's life. Yes, the intensity of pain varies. It's more in someone's life and less in others, but we all share more or less. Cutting us off from the umbilical cord when we are born, which keeps us attached to our mother. When we are cut off from that, being torn away from her womb, we are snatched out of such a holy and safe place and thrown into this world, which is so cruel and harsh out. This is also an abandonment, a traumatic experience which we all go through. And it has very harsh psychological impact, and out lies perhaps our belly button is nothing. Scar of that wound, and as I state the psychopath text, suffering is inevitable. You will suffer emotional loss in your life. You will be dumped, your loved one will die. Either you will suffer physically or psychologically, but you will suffer. So let's admit that we all have pain and traumas in our life. And we all also have some remedy to suppress this pain and trauma, like watching TV excessively, shopping, sex or internet addiction. These are all means to get away from distress. Some people become workaholic so that they don't even feel these things. Addiction of relationships. There is a line in the book Eat, Pray, Love. It says addiction is the hallmark of every infatuation-based love story. Binge watching movies, binge eating, these are all one or other form of addiction through which we try to cover the mist in our life. These are all attempts to get away from distress, from pain. And not just that, today the whole market system works to trigger our addictive tendencies. Our food industry's purpose is not to make us healthy, but to prepare food in a way which can be used to trigger our basic addiction tendencies, so that people buys more and more. Mobile phones are designed to make us keep touching and using it. App designing uses colors to make you use those apps for hours. And if we see addiction on a broader global perspective, then addiction of power. Addiction of consumerism, addiction of oil. Even religion is a kind of addiction that promises salvation and freedom. And if you look into history, then addiction of power, consumerism and oil has damaged the world in a way no other addiction has done. So first of all, we should throw out from our mind the idea that addiction is only of drugs, or that only liquor drinking makes people junkies. Yes, these are the stigmatized forms of addictions in our society. It means addictions that the intoxicant-based are frowned upon by society. There are thousands of other addictions whose victims Army and UN society doesn't care for it, because it is accepted wrong. Be it any type of addiction, deep down it is always about pain. It is always about running away from the pain. We try to run away from the pain. We try to cover it. And the truth is that the more you run away from you more pain, it will cause you more pain. As it is said, the surest way to go to hell is to run away from hell. That's why live with your pain, don't try to run away. Feel it, be with it. Do anything but don't run away. The more you run away from it, the weaker you will get to face that pain, to face the truth. But we can gather the courage to live with our pain, to live with truths only when people around us show some compassion, are kind-hearted. When people don't judge us, when society doesn't point finger at us. They don't be mean. It's only when people sense some compassion that they allow themselves to see the truth. It's a fact that we are all junkies. We are all addicted to something, and it's only when we sense some compassion, it's only when we are willing to hug each other unconditionally, love each other unconditionally, that we might understand that addiction is a poor substitute for love. Addiction is a pale alternative of love. True love lies in human beings. If only we could share that unconditionally.